Hello, my friends, and welcome to Parsha for Kids with Rabbi Saul. This week's Parsha is Parshat Pinchas, one of the few Parshiot named after people. Right? We had Parshat Balak, Parshat Korach, Noach, and Yitro. These are the about five Parshiot. Chayesar also named after people. Pinchas was a grandson of Aaron or Cohen, right? Moshe's brother. So Pinchas is a man. And something very sad about him, he's left out. He doesn't belong. Everyone else in his family is a Kohen. They all were made Kohanim. His uncles, his father, his grandfather, everyone's a Kohen except for him. Rashi explains that he was left out. It was some fluke of the rules that only future sons would become Kohanim, but Pinchas was already born, and he was not allowed to be a Kohen. So he was left out. He was the only one in his family, not a Kohen, not a priest. Except in this week's Parsha, he gets to become a Kohen. He does something very heroic, very brave. I'm not going to say what it is. And as a reward for that, Hashem rewards him, God rewards him to become a Kohen. Not only does he become a Kohen, but he becomes the future Kohen Gadol, the high priest, the most important one. And all of his descendants, all of his children, will also be future Kohanim, Kohen Gadols. So that's how the beginning of the Parsha starts out. Okay, now what happens next? It's time to give out the land of Israel, right? The Bnei Israel, the Jewish people, are about to go into the land of Israel, and they're going to divide up the land into different sections. Every shevet, every tribe is going to get a certain part. Some people are going to get Tel Aviv, some are going to get Yerushalayim, the south, the north, everything in between. They're going to divide it up. In fact, it's actually kind of funny. If you're a Harry Potter fan, they kind of did it like a sorting hat, where Moshe put all the names of the 12 tribes in one bag, and he put 12 pieces of land in another bag, and then it would announce which tribe gets which piece of land. Almost like the sorting hat from Harry Potter would announce which house you go to. So there's one problem. You see, it went based on the father in the family, right? The father of each family was assigned a piece of land. But there are a group of girls, 5 girls, are all sisters. They're called the Benot Slavchad, the daughters of Slavchad. Their father died. Their father wasn't alive anymore. And therefore, they weren't given any piece of land. They had nowhere to live in Israel. They were very upset about this. They came to Moshe Rabbeinu. They approached him and they said, "We want a piece of land in Israel too. We also love the land of Israel. It's not fair. Just because our father died, we have nowhere to live." So Moshe said, "I'm not sure what to do. You're right. It's a great point. It's a great question. Let me ask Hashem." Hashem says the very famous words, Kain benot slavcha dobrot. They speak the truth. They are correct. You must give them a piece of land in Israel as well. We even get the names of these 5 daughters, and this is a really inspiring moment for girls and for women everywhere, that these 5 women in the Torah come to Moshe, and they fight for their rights, and they're given it. Moshe is getting very old, and he knows he's not going to go into the land of Israel. In fact, Hashem tells him to go up on top of a mountain and to look at the land of Israel, at how beautiful it is, but he doesn't get to go inside, which is kind of like sad for Moshe and kind of mean. It's like bringing a kid to the candy store or a toy store and saying, "Look at all these wonderful things, but you can't have any." But Moshe is a tzaddik. Moshe is a righteous person. He doesn't get jealous, doesn't get upset at all. He just loves Israel so much. But he says the Jewish people need a new leader, a future leader to take over after me. So who's it going to be? Hashem says, choose Yehoshua, your faithful servant, your student, who's always been with you. He should be the new leader of the Jewish people. So Moshe puts his hands on Yehoshua's head, and he leans on them, and he gives him his powers. He gives him his knowledge, his wisdom, and he kind of anoints Yehoshua as a new leader. This is where we get the word smicha from. It says, "Vayismoch yadav alav." He leans his hands on them. He literally leaned on him. And the word smicha, when you become a rabbi, you get smicha, is from this. Finally, the Parsha ends by teaching us about Musaf, the Korban Musaf, a special sacrifice that was brought on every holiday, Rosh Chodesh, and every Shabbat. There was a special extra korban. Musaf means lahosif, extra. And from this, we get the mitzvah of davening musaf. Every Shabbat and every Rosh Chodesh and every holiday, we have an extra tefillah, an extra prayer, an extra Shmona Esrei. After we finish Shacharit in the morning prayers, davening's not over yet, like it usually is during the week. We have Musaf, we have an extra one, and we say another Shmona Esrei. It has a little bit of different words. It starts the same and it ends the same, but in the middle is a special bracha. So we say that every Shabbat, every Rosh Chodesh, and every holiday has a special tefillah of Musaf. That's basically the whole Parsha in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please let me know, and stay tuned for next week's edition.